Welcome back. In our previous video we've learned about logic, right? We've seen what is logic, we've seen what is formal logic, we have also started with propositional logic. So it is, I guess, this was done. We have to start from here. Now we have formula. Okay, one second. So what does logic says? A proposition says, a proposition, formula stands for proposition. A proposition is nothing but its atomic formula. So I represent proposition using the word formula. So formula is nothing but it can be either atomic formula or it can be complex formula. Atomic, a single, complex, multiple. Okay. So what do you mean by atomic? So atomic formula is nothing but it can be true or false or certain symbol. Now what can be symbol? What can be symbol? Symbol any letter, P, Q, R and so on. Okay. What is complex formula? So further, what is complex formula? Complex formula is nothing but negation of your formula. Okay, whatever is your original formula, it's negation or. Two formulas are connected with the help of conjunction or. Two formulas are connected with the help of bijection. Okay, so I have positive literal, the same as atomic formula. What do you mean by positive literal? It is nothing but your atomic formula. Negative literal means I have negation sign along with my atomic formula. So formulas are nothing but sentences or propositions. Okay, it is that simple. So just remember here that we are calling formula as a proposition as a formula. So formula can be atomic formula or complex formula. Okay, this is the main part of your propositional logic. Okay, you can have a single formula or you can have complex ones. If you have single, it is nothing but true, false or symbol. If you have complex, okay, symbol is nothing but P, Q, R, S and so on. Complex formula is nothing but either negation of your formula or you use and or you use or you may also use conjunction, bijection and so on. Okay, so let us see an rules for it. Okay, so semantics, we call it as semantics. Fine. So semantics are nothing but rules to determine the truth of the sentence. Sentence means what? Proposition about what we are studying. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to determine truth of that sentence. In order to define truth of that sentence, we require semantics. Semantics in simple language, it is meaning of the sentence. Or you need to find the truth value of that particular sentence. So the best way to find truth value of a sentence is truth table. Okay, so here we have represented truth table. You have already seen this in your second year. P, Q. Okay, my predicate, my proposition is P and my proposition is Q. This is negation of P. So here I have false, false, true, true. Okay, so I'm finding negation of P. I'll get true, true, false, false. Next we have P and Q. I am want to do ANDing of, so F and F is nothing but F. So generally false we take it as 0 and T we take it as 1. Okay. Then so in this fashion I have AND. F and F is F. So 0 and 1 is 0. 1 and 0 is 0. And 1 and 1 is 1. That is nothing but true. P or Q. F or F, F. F or T, T. T or F, T. And T or T is T. Okay. Then we have, so implication is P implies Q. Okay. So this is true at all the times. Only if my P is true and this is false, I get the answer as false. So this is reverse Q or P. So okay, true, false, I'll get the answer as false. And the last one is this one. So this is true only if Q implies P and P implies Q both are true. Okay, so if this is true, then I'll get it as true. Okay, so this biconditional is explained with the help of Wumpus example. Okay, just we have seen the biconditional, right? P biconditional implication with Q. Okay, so let us see with the help of an example. So Wumpus already we have seen in our previous lectures. So we know that in Wumpus, okay, we had like 4x4 grid was there, right? So proposition for a pit. If I have pit at any particular location, I denote it using P of ij. Okay, so I'll call at that particular row and that particular column. So here I'm having pit, for example, at this is 1 1. Okay, so accordingly I have pit at that particular location, for example. Okay, so now what it is saying, proposition for a pit. Proposition means what? Statement. I have made a statement for a pit. So there is a pit at this location, whatever is the value of ij. Then proposition for breeze. Okay, now suppose over here, suppose I'm not with the exact example, but suppose I have breeze over here. So what I say, proposition for breeze. Okay, at this particular location I have breeze. So I say second row and first column I have breeze, 2 comma 1 I have breeze. Okay, and first row and first column I have pit, for example. Okay, now what is this rule? Okay, so we can write rule. These are the propositions what we have written. This is one proposition, this is the other proposition, using propositional logic. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build a knowledge base. Okay, now build a knowledge base means what? I have to add certain rules. So first rule I add is there is no pit at 1 1. Okay, for example, suppose this is the position 1 comma 1. So I say that there is no pit at 1 1. This is my one rule. Okay, I want to say, actually when we had seen this Wumpus example at that time, we know that there was no pit over here. Fine now. So I say the same using rule 1, that there is no pit in 1 1. Okay, then rule 2 says that if there is, now here I am using by conditional operator. So it says that there is breeze at the position 2 comma 1. Okay, so there is breeze at second row first column. Now for example over here I'm talking about, okay, second row first column, that means this location. Okay, it says that there is breeze over here. Now what we had learned in the rules, if there is a breeze, then nearby there is pit, adjacent there is pit. So it states that there is pit either over here or over here. Okay, so same things are explained over here in this rule, that there is breeze over here implies that there is pit at this location, or there is a pit at this location. There is pit at 3 1, this is third row first column, or there is a pit at 2 comma 2 in this fashion. Okay, so the same we are explained with the help of this formula. So it says that breeze, I can write like this. I want to say that there is breeze implies by conditional implication P or Q. Okay, so this is one example how we are applying those things while building our knowledge base. So what we have done, 2 rules we have formed, right? So these 2 rules are added in our knowledge base. Fine. Precedence of connectivities. Now we have seen various connectors. Okay, so what is the precedence operation? So first precedence is always given to parenthesis. Next we have negation. Next we have conjunction operator, right? Next is disjunction. Next is implication, and finally we have bicondition. So you should know this. So first, if we have parenthesis, negation, conjunction, disjunction, implication, and bicondition. Further, what do you mean by inference? Okay, so syntax, semantics. Okay, and thirdly inference with respect to propositional logic we are studying. So this is next point. After representation of knowledge base, now what we have done previously, we have represented knowledge base. In this Wumpus example I have shown how to represent the knowledge base. Okay, so we have represent knowledge base. Now we have to decide, finally we have to go for inference. Okay, so for that we need to enumerate various models. Fine. If X is a sentence, okay, so if knowledge base is true, then it implies that your X is also true. The value of KB is true. KB stands for knowledge base. If this is true, this implies that your X is also true. Okay, so what this inference, what this is doing is, it is trying to explain what is the inference, what is the conclusion from your knowledge base. Okay, so I can also say that if I have like this X, okay, sorry, this has become longer. I'll make this also longer. So if I write like this, okay, so it is X concludes Y. So I say that X concludes Y. If X is true, Y is also true. Okay, so if X is true, Y is also true. So all models of X are all the models of Y. Okay, in this fashion conclusion is related. So whenever we say knowledge base, at the end of knowledge base we have to derive the conclusion. Okay, so again the same we will see, this is also called as entailment. Okay, entailment, that is knowledge base entails X. Okay, I can say knowledge base entails, this word I'll tell it as entails x. Okay, if and only if x is true in all worlds where knowledge base is also true. So if knowledge base is true, x also has to be true, then I can say that knowledge base entails x or knowledge base concludes x. It's that simple. Okay, so what we've learned about inference is knowledge base infers x or knowledge base entails x when if knowledge base is true and x is also true, then x is inferred. Okay, so in the other words I can say if x is true in all the worlds where knowledge base is true, then I say that knowledge base entails x. Okay, we will see this example. Again we are talking about same Wumpus example. Okay, so what is there in this example? So if you will see, this is breeze, randomly I have written. So suppose in 1 1 I am having breeze, B21 means that means I am talking about breeze, whether there is breeze in 1 1, whether there is pit in 1 2, in this fashion we are talking. Okay, okay, and we have to decide about knowledge base also. So now if you will see that P12 is giving me false, false, false. So for all the 3 lines it is giving me false. So I can conclude that. I can conclude that there is no pit in 1 2. What do I conclude? There is no pit in 1 2 means looking at this I can conclude that there is no pit in 1 2. Okay, but talking about this, okay, talking about the position 3 1. Now here I have true, then I have false, then I have true. So using these 3 lines I cannot conclude that whether there is pit in 3 1 or not. I cannot say that there is pit in 3 1, I cannot say that there is no pit in 3 1. Okay, so in this fashion we have to go for conclusions. So again you can see rule 1 is true to true, rule 2 is true to true, so my knowledge base is also true to true. Okay, so what I want to say over here, if I'll talk about pit 1 2, all the 3 are false, that means I can conclude that there is no pit in 1 2. Okay, because I am talking about pit 1 2. Here I am talking about pit 3 1. So it is true, false, true. I cannot conclude that there is pit or not, and hence I don't reach at any conclusion. Okay, so that is about inference. We should know about little terminology of this. So tautology. What do you mean by tautology? A proposition formula always true. Okay, so you remember you guys have studied truth tables. If in truth table finally your inferenced column everywhere, if you get the value true everywhere, then you call it as tautology. Okay, if everywhere you get false, okay, always false, then you call it as contradiction. If it is neither true nor false, okay, so then together values are there, true and false combinations is there. Okay, not completely true nor not completely false, then you call it as contingency. And last one is satisfiability. Now what do you mean by satisfiability? A proposition is satisfiable if it's true for a certain model. Okay, example, x is true in model M, therefore M satisfies x, or you can say M is model of x. Okay, so satisfies, that is called as satisfiability. I repeat, x is true in model M. Okay, x is true in model M, that means M satisfies x, M is model of x. Okay, so this is little terminology. So whatever we have studied, okay, is related to your propositional logic. In our next video we are going to learn about first order logic. Thank you.